Hi, Mark. Pretty exciting.
Oh, absolutely. I guess you could say go green in downtown Flint. A huge crowd is gathered here inside of what used to be the Flint Journal building. Well, the most important thing right now, no injuries. That's the word we're getting from firefighters. On top of that, no word yet on how this fire started. We are hearing all sorts of rumors. If you look at Facebook, Twitter, we're staying away from those at this point in time. But if you look behind me, you can see there is still one crew working hard out here. There were as many as 8 fire departments helping out last night. This fire started at around 7 o'clock, carried on until around midnight. The fire began above the antique store on the street level. 15 people had to leave their apartments.
Mark, what are you finding there this morning?
Hi, Larry. Damage and lots of it. We're in the parking lot at St. Paul Baptist Church on Coldwater Road. And just to show you the magnitude and how powerful this storm was, take a look at that massive tree over there. The storm just tore it apart. It stripped it in half, and you can see it collapsed and fell down on 4 cars here in the parking lot, smashing windshields, ripping off the mirrors, and these cars are in pretty bad shape. Karen, police are still trying to figure out exactly what happened here. We can tell you this, there are 15 orange cones in the street behind me here, indicating that at least 15 shots were fired. Hi, Larry, we actually just saw the FBI walk out a few minutes ago with some sort of box, perhaps containing surveillance camera video. We're right here at Michigan and 24th, and if you take a look at the video that's just in, you can see this is pretty much a mangled mess. This is what we saw when we arrived here. 8 trains had jumped the tracks.
So what do you got going on there, Mark?
I'm trying to get my balance back, first things first. Let's just establish that. But this is cradle yoga and aerial yoga. It's a new trend that's just really popping up all over the place. And I got to point over here because this is Nicole. She is 3rd generation circus. I kid you not, okay? She can do anything. She's amazing. And over here we have Julietta. She's going to be running a workshop here on Saturday beginning at 1 o'clock. And what the heck's the story behind all this, too?
Well, a circus performer harmed his back and combined the cradle fabric, or the aerial fabric, which is what I'm in, with yoga poses, and he healed his back, and we're all doing great since then.
And it's the same material that they use at Cirque du Soleil, right?
Absolutely.
All right, well, hop on down because I want to give this a shot. This is against my better judgment, but we're going to try a death-defying act here.
Okay.
This could get ugly, but hold that right
Here we go.
All right, we're just hopping in, right?
6 bunches, 6 or 7 bunches, jumping
All right.
up to the knees.
Up to the knees.
To the knees.
Okay.
Okay.
And now what?
We're going to go upside down. We're going to do an inversion. It's going to be good
An inversion.
for the back. It's going to feel great on your
Good
back.
for the back as long as they don't fall,
Yeah.
right?
Put up the legs.
Okay.
Slowly let go.
Let go?
Let go of your hands. Have faith, baby.
You gonna spin me around too? Oh, wow.
You got to open up the legs.
Wow! All right, if you want to find more information about cradle yoga happening here this Saturday, go to abc12.com. Oh, look at it. Puck's already flying at me, okay? You know what? 18 goalies in the Olympic Games will be wearing all this gear coming up in Sochi, Russia in just a matter of days. And right now I'm wearing kind of a mishmash. We've got pieces from several different goalies out here. Lapierre's has set the bar. Not only did they bring in over $1,100 in cash, translating to more than 10,000 pounds of food for the food bank, but they brought in all of this. We don't know how much is here, but I guarantee you we're going to find out. George Metropolis grew up with dreams of playing rock and roll on the big stage, and in some ways his dreams have come true.
We've built amplifiers that have gone to Kiss, to Bon Jovi. They've been on tour with John Mayer for years.
In fact, you never know who might stop by George's house for a quick jam session.
I've had some rock stars in the basement here. It's always a little, strange, like, okay, watch your head coming down the stairs.
This Burton, Michigan basement is the home of Metropolis Amplification. Since 2003, master amp builder George Metropolis and his small staff have been building amps here and sending them on the road to some of the most famous music venues in the world. Oh, and by the way, prior to all this, George spent a couple of years playing guitar himself for some guy named Kid Rock.
For all that time we spent in the van driving around to gigs, well, you can pay me back now, buy some amps.
Each amp sells for around $3,000, and while George Metropolis hasn't made his millions just yet, he does have some lofty goals for the future.
I envision a day where I have a shop on ground level and I don't have to carry amps up the steps.
So is this the loudest house in the neighborhood? Do all the neighbors complain?
All the time.
Well, here we go. Let's see if we can get a little louder.
I don't need a whole lot of money.
I don't need a big fine car. Flint native Mark Farner is back where it all began. Saturday night, he'll play his first hometown concert since the mid-1990s.
We're going to rock this place. This is going to be the best concert of my life. I'm telling you that right now.
That's a pretty bold statement for a guy who's played for a single crowd of over 185,000 with Grand Funk Railroad. But to Farner, that can't compare to playing Atwood Stadium on Saturday night for the very first time.
I told the guys back in the day, I said, man, we need to go back to Flint, and Grand Funk needs to play Atwood Stadium, but it just never happened.
Farner grew up only a few blocks away from Atwood. He still has family in Flint, and just taking a stroll through the old neighborhood gives him chills.
My sister Diane and I used to go down to the National Guard Armory down here in Flint and dance, and we won a couple of dance contests, and man, we thought hey.
And as far as the set list for Saturday, it's a collection of Grand Funk classics picked out by Farner's fans on his website.
We're doing Some Kind of Wonderful and, you know, Locomotion and all the hits.
And don't worry, they'll sound a little bit better than this. My baby, them women,
they all right. And them women clean out of sight. Don't you know that they
some kind of wonderful. In Flint, Marc Jacobson, ABC 12 News. All right, here it is. Check it out. The ESPN magazine cover that has everyone talking this morning. The magazine shows former Tiger Prince Fielder for one of its body image covers, and oh yeah, he is naked in all his glory. You like what you see there, Jamie?
You know, to say that this has everyone talking is an understatement. People are just going nuts over this picture.
He said himself it's a 12-pack, not a 6-pack, and be proud of it. But, you know, Prince's cover has inspired a bunch of hilarious and outrageous spoofs all over the internet and social media. There's the Wrecking Ball, which is, of course, a take on Miley Cyrus's controversial music video. This is a good one. I like this.
Well,
okay.
How about Prince spinning the wheel on The Price is Right? That's pretty funny.
They just need Bob Barker in there next to him. This is my favorite. A picture of a naked Prince Fielder hailing a cab in the snow, and it's pretty chilly out there, but he's doing all right.
That's really funny. I'm sure there are so many more of those to come.
And, you know, I'm thinking of other images you could do, maybe like Prince doing needlepoint, or maybe Prince, I don't know, making fondue with hot oil.
Or doing the weather.
That could be. You know, speaking of that, you know, the ABC 12 body issue will be coming out later today at Big Lots locations. It's absolutely free. It's guaranteed to be a collector's item. You can see John Murray like checking the rain gauge in his backyard, and maybe like Jamie baking cookies and me changing the oil in my car. It's fantastic. All right.
There's something wrong with you.
What a morning we've had already. Storms dumping a huge amount of water right onto mid-Michigan. Good morning, everybody. I'm Marc Jacobson.
And I'm Jamie Ward. Larry is off today. We're taking you right to a flooded road in Chesaning Township. Take a look. Our crews found M57 flooded just east of Chesaning. One car got caught up in the water.
Don't try to do that. Don't try to make your way through that. We see that time and time again. It never works out. But we're seeing some progress at this hour when it comes to restoring power outages around the area. Most of Gratiot County now back online, but we still have more than 2,500 people without power in Genesee County as we speak. The areas hit are southeast of Flushing and along 475 south of 69. And John, are we going to get any relief from this, or is the water and the rain just going to keep pouring down on us?
Well, the rain has ended. The storms have moved to the east and to the south, at least for the rest of today.
The former owner of R.O. Savage Funeral Chapel in Stanish is expected to be sentenced today after pleading guilty to embezzlement charges earlier this year. The state's AG office accused Richard Weishun of taking more than $200,000 for his customers. The money was put into a general business account instead of a trust account, which is illegal.
It's estimated 60,000 to 80,000 children from Central America will cross into the U.S. illegally this year and without their parents.
That's right, and many are ending up in American facilities in border towns down south. But now there's talk of possibly bringing some of them to mid-Michigan. Published reports this morning say discussions are underway to house some of them at the Wolverine Human Services Pioneer Work and Learn Center. That's located in Vassar. All new this morning, local governments have until this morning to submit paperwork to Shiawassee County if they want to try to get state funding to help with the costs connected to last December's big ice storm. The county was in a state of emergency for several days following the ice storm. The state has set aside $1 million in relief. It'll be distributed to 37 different communities hit hardest by the storm. And you can't use a missed deadline as an excuse this year to not get involved with the Crim Festival races, right?
Well, you could.
It
just maybe no one would believe you.
Right.
Is the problem. The sign up has been extended to today, July 7th, but you should hurry.
And this year, the Crim is capping the number of runners and walkers in the 10-mile race at 10,000. And so, John, obviously, you're not a running guy, you're a boating guy. We know that.
10,000. I'm 10,001. I missed it again.
He missed
as
it.
hard as I tried.